What if I told you that a 12-minute demo video could double your sales pipeline overnight? It sounds like bullshit, right? Because when I say 12-minute demo, you inherently know that very few people are gonna watch it. But there's a right way to do this. In fact, when I was running SilverTrack, I used this strategy to add 253 new deals we wouldn't have had otherwise, to our pipeline in just 90 days. I'm Johnny Page, the CEO here at SaaS Academy, and today I'm gonna show you how to build a high conversion demo on demand. All right, before we get into it, I want to be clear. A demo on demand is not a recorded 15 to 30-minute walkthrough of your product. It's not a replacement for your sales process, but it will increase your sales velocity. And it's also not a product walkthrough or an interactive demo. Those age really quickly. Today, I'm going to show you a very specific structure to making sure this goes from being a boring video with almost zero watch time to a revenue generating unlock. Now, I want you to think about the last time that you purchased software. If you're like most people, you do a lot of homework ahead of time. You probably ask some friends or some colleagues what they're using. You search Google or G2 Crowd, you skim some websites, and then you start to get a hunch for which product might be best for you. Then you click the request a demo button, and as you fill out field after field in that form, you start to really ask yourself just how interested you are, because on the other side of that form, you have to go sit down with a sales rep for 30, 60, sometimes even 90 minutes to hear the pitch. Now, for some prospects, they're ready for that conversation, right? This is a now thing and I have some pain I'm trying to solve. But for many others, they're just not quite convinced. And without a demo on demand, that is where the journey ends. Chili Piper recently did a survey of 100 SaaS companies and a full study on how buyers are buying today. And one quote that really illustrates this point was from Evie, the director of marketing over at Chassis. She said, "I love seeing a demo right on a company's website. To me, it shows their belief in their product. They don't really need to trap you into a call or hold your inbox hostage with an infinite drip." So there are 5 reasons why you have to have a demo on demand. The first one is that you're gonna convert tire kickers into buyers. See, there's prospects that are informed about your product and interested to learn more, but they're just not quite ready to talk to sales yet. And you can put your demo on demand behind a form, get their contact information, and keep them moving forward in the sales process, where otherwise you'd have to rely on retargeting or the journey just stops there completely. The second reason is that you get to set the bar. 78% of B2B customers purchase from the vendor that responds first. So if you have a demo on demand in your prospect's hand while your competitors are still waiting to check their inbox, email back, get the client scheduled, you are getting to set the bar with the features and the positioning that highlight your product strengths versus the competitors. The third reason you need a demo on demand is for all those prospects that request a demo and then they either fail to schedule or they never show up, right? It allows you to do a little bit of CPR and keep their interest up in your product without them having to meet with a salesperson. Reason number 4 is that it speeds up the sales process for multi-stakeholder sales cycles, right? So if you have one decision maker who then has to turn around and go into the organization and rally support from several other people inside the company, the demo on demand is gonna be a lot more effective at that than them turning around and kind of regurgitating or playing the telephone game on what they liked about your product. Reason number 5 is that it keeps a founder involved in the sales conversation without requiring more of their time. I particularly love this for earlier stage companies doing less than 5 million in annual revenue, where we've got a few sales reps on the team, but the founder still has such a strong point of view that's helpful in the sales conversation. So if I can use a demo on demand either before they get on with my sales rep or after they get on with my sales rep to still get the point of view of the founder involved in the sales conversation, my likelihood of winning that deal goes way up. All right, so let's talk about creating a demo on demand. A high conversion, compelling demo on demand is going to be structured in a way that lets the prospect get straight to the things that they care about most. So instead of going through a long, continuous video, we're gonna create shorter videos with descriptive titles, and regardless of how complex the product is, every demo on demand needs these elements. All right, so the first video is an overview video. It's gonna give the 10,000 foot view. Now, this needs to be done in a way where if it's the only video that they watch, it's really clear about what your product does, and it gets them much more likely to actually jump on a call with your sales team. Next, we're gonna list out 3 videos with our 3 most popular use cases. And you can add more than that, but you have to start with the 3 most important. I like featuring these on the use cases experiences rather than the features themselves. So it's how the product is actually used, what's the outcome or the benefit that it provides, not necessarily, a demo of a specific feature. All right, so the third component of your demo on demand is how to get started, right? This should highlight the sales process, how onboarding works. You can choose to highlight how your pricing is structured, maybe even address a couple of objections that commonly come up or keep someone from actually jumping on and talking with their sales team. All right, so now that you know the structure of a demo on demand, there's a few keys to success to making this a really high converting and compelling. The first is that your video should be 1 to 2 minutes at most. We don't need really long walkthroughs. This is supposed to be a stepping stone to getting on with your sales team. So focus less on workflows and more on positioning. The goal here isn't to show every single button click. Instead, we want to share our point of view on the solution and the benefit that it provides the user. Next, we want to make sure that we are only giving about 80% of the information. There's a Goldilocks zone here, right? We want them to be informed enough and really confirm their intrigue and their hunch that this is the right product for them. We want them jumping on with our sales team so that we can collaborate on what that process looks like moving forward. The last component here is I can't overemphasize how important it is to start with the script. You're not going to get a demo on demand down to 8 to 12 minutes unless you are writing out every word. You're meticulous with how each sentence leads to the next, painting a really clear picture of what your solution does for the user. So I'm going to give you an example of when I scripted these out myself, exactly how I laid this out so that you can make sure your demo on demand is really potent. All right, so I fire up a Google Doc and I create 3 columns. The first one is the time. We're going to say about how much time into the video are we allowing for this scene. Then we're going to write out our script, and then in the third column we're going to define what's actually happening on screen. So the example here is, on screen we'd have an overview of the title slide. We then have the home page with some motion graphics of data flowing into our product. Then for the next 15 seconds, we're going to show a few clicks on setting up an integration. We're going to show some data populating in the screen and then show logos of our key integrations, right? That's just an example of how you go from, the words coming out through the voiceover into what's actually happening on screen. So now let's talk implementation. Once you have your demo on demand actually produced, it's time to get some eyeballs on it. The first place I look to do this is on the demo request page itself. So in small text right under the form, we can put a little in italics, a message that says, if you're not ready to speak with sales yet, click here to watch our demo on demand. And you'll see for those users that were just like we talked about earlier, where they're getting halfway through the form and they're thinking, you know what, I'm not sure I'm ready. This is a great off ramp for them to go continue the conversion process. But instead of talking to sales, they get to see your product in action. The next spot I like to put this is on an exit pop-up on that demo request page. So on the chance they don't see the little text at the bottom of the form, when they go to exit that page, we can have a pop-up that says, not ready to speak with sales, watch our demo on demand. And you click that button, it goes right to a similar form, but the call to action, the step after this form is seeing the demo on demand, not getting harassed by our sales team. All right, the next place to use a demo on demand is for those that request a demo but don't show up, or request a demo and never end up scheduling. And you could just shoot a simple email that says, hey, I'd love to see if our product's a good fit for you. In the meantime, here's a short demo on demand to make sure that I'm not wasting your time. And this just allows the prospect to spend a little bit more time with your product before committing to being face-to-face with a salesperson. All right, the next place to use your demo on demand is in the demo follow-up. So if we've met with an internal champion and we've got their support, they like the product, but they're going to continue doing some research, I like arming them with the demo on demand to make sure that they can turn around and rally that internal support. You can imagine the advantage this gives you if you've given them a demo on demand, but your competitors haven't. This can really give you a leg up in the buying process by turning that internal champion into a better sales rep on your behalf. All right, well, there you have it. That is the demo on demand. If you click the link below, I'll send you a swipe file with some of the best demo on demand examples and an implementation checklist to make sure that you can install a demo on demand into your operation.